A lot of people wait for perfect conditions to start, but don't realize that starting is the perfect condition.
I love to put myself in uncomfortable situations to where I have to figure it out, I have to learn.
The life you want is on the other side of a few hard conversations, and you're living a life you hate because you're too afraid to have them. In the short term, your success depends on your intensity. In the long term, your success depends on your consistency. Do not sacrifice the latter for the former.
It's time to get back to work. Stop hearing yourself talk. Get off the podcast. Don't be on social media too much. Cut out all the fucking noise. Get back to the fucking mental lab.
True alignment of what you think, what you say, and what you do. The hardest part is realizing that our thoughts are fucked and that we have to fix them instead of faking the next two.
And it's exactly that.
There's some internal drive that you either have or you don't have. And if you have it, you won't quit. And if you don't have it, you're gonna quit.
As long as you keep going, you bear witness to yourself of what you are capable of. And I find that incredibly satisfying in the trenches of misery when you have to go through it. You always have to be the person who roots for you before everyone else does. And it's usually a single clap in the auditorium for a very long period of time. It is a slow clap that's just you rooting for you.
Keep pushing through things that suck. And I would love to say like, keep pushing through adversity, but this isn't adversity. This is just things that suck. It's one level below adversity. Adversity is when you're having a challenge. This is just something that's gonna suck and you're gonna have to push through it.
Reminder for anyone internally debating weekend plans. If you don't want to go, don't go. If they care whether you go or not, they don't care about you. And if they care about you, they don't care if you go or not. Just because you have free time doesn't mean anyone who asks for it is entitled to it.
If you're succeeding at a job that you hate, imagine how good you'd be at a job that you loved. Mm-hmm. And that's kind of the same. This person is starting from essentially zero. How much fucking worse can it get?
Right. It's the downside. If you can eliminate someone's downside for action, it's like then the bias, it should bias you towards taking action.
And find your peace, man. Right. Be logical. Be reasonable. Be safe. Have fun. And just go see what's around you. Just because you don't know it, you don't know.
Is the best way to work out what is going to resonate, and it's the best way to act on it as well. If you can't stop thinking about it when you go to bed tonight, and you can't stop telling your friends about it in the morning, and you've clipped it from this podcast or any other podcast or any other book or whatever the thing is that you keep sending photos of and you keep on reciting to people and you try and tell your mum about it and she doesn't care, that is the thing that you need to work on. Everything changed for me when I realized that we're not meant to feel excited and perfect all the time. I started accepting that where I am right now is where I'm genuinely meant to be. Tough days are all a part of the process. Lean into them. Bad days are also part of a very good and meaningful life. So on my toughest days, I think about getting through one more day, one more workout, one more rep.
It's so easy to be great nowadays, my friend, because most people are weak. Most people don't want to go to that extra mile. Most people don't want to find that extra because it sucks. It's miserable. It's lonely. You talk about that you were kind of, lonely by yourself. I was the same way. And that used to hurt me growing up. Now I fucking thrive in that shit. That's the only place to be.
But it's like, do you want to do this or not? Which is what I think a lot of it boils down to. Do you actually want to do this or not? Do you actually want to do this or not? Because if you actually want to do it, what's going to stop you? Nothing. And if you don't really want to do it, what's going to stop you? Just about anything that comes up. Just about any obstacle that gets in your way becomes an excuse. It becomes a reason. It becomes a rationale for not proceeding down that path.
Society said, this is what a successful man looks like. Society said, this is what a responsible man looks like. But there were men who said, I don't fit into that. I'm gonna go try something new. I'm gonna go see things that I haven't seen. I'm gonna go do things I haven't done. I'm gonna smell smells that I have never smelled.
At the end of the day, I asked myself one question: can I take one more step? And usually the answer is yes. So if you can answer that question and not take another step, that is real failure. That is real quitting. So a lot of people can take one more step, but they choose not to. I don't know if you can take 2 steps. You got to answer that question after you take the first step. But I can always take one more step, so if I choose not to, that's on me. And I got to live with that.
You don't have to feel good about it. You just have to keep going. The feeling will pass, but you will remain. You are greater than your feelings. Going to bed late and waking up early to work for a few days won't kill you. You're not going to burn out. You're doing what it takes. If you're one of those people that push work-life balance, just remember, the people who like working a lot don't care. I've never regretted trying harder at anything ever. Hard times last long, but an epic story feels like a lifetime.
Like, I have something I love about it. There's something I love about being put back against the corner, like knowing that there's a lot of work I have to do, feeling like I can't accomplish my goal and you're gonna have to do it. There's something so like simple and beautiful in the meaning of just doing something that difficult under that level of pressure that you're choosing to do. You know, people say you find meaning in suffering, and I think if you put yourself into like a meaningless suffering, it's kind of just, it's dumb. There's no point. You're just hurting yourself for no reason. But if you can find your meaning in just doing hard things that are as close as possible to suffering, that you're still benefiting from and you still enjoy, I think it's beautiful.
I lost everything twice. I don't know if you've ever lost everything before, but I've been bottomed out twice. I done seen rock bottom 2 times. I've been through some walls up in here, man. I'm just trying to tell you, man, God is really with you. You ain't gotta believe me. You ain't gotta believe me, but keep doing it without God. Let me know how it worked for you. Matter of fact, write a book on how to make it without God. Because I wanna read it. I wanna read the first page, and then I wanna read the last page, because there ain't gonna be but 2.
You know, in the meaning we find in life, it's beautiful to do hard things and to accomplish things, but if you were to do it alone, it's just not the same as being able to share it with someone. I think there's a level of, you know, codependence and regulation that can be healthy and can help you push through, be more present, not have to shut off and numb so much. You know, I think a lot of people who are going through hard things, trying to accomplish really big levels of success, numb a lot to get there. And I think being able to have a partner in which you can regulate yourself with and share and communicate and lean on prevents you from having to numb, brings you closer together, which is its own experience as well as the experience of whatever you're working towards. So it's like double the amount of joy that you get to feel.
The reason the goal isn't coming at you fast enough is because every person you've seen accomplish the goal, you only see it the moment they accomplish it. And the reason that it hurts so much when people are like, must be nice, oh, that happened overnight, is because every time you fail, no one cares and no one sees. But when you finally win, people take notice.
Discredited.
But it's the only time they notice is when you actually win. And so to even further reinforce the point, the fact that everyone looks like an overnight success means that the 10 years where they sucked, no one saw.
Your best work has to come when you're least motivated. Where does that come from? It comes from basically, I had to stop thinking normal. I had to stop thinking normal. I can no longer be a common man walking around doing common things. But no one taught me this stuff. It wasn't like I had, I paid a trainer to come train me. Jenny Craig didn't come down and miracle my ass. None of this happened. It was on me. And that's the thing you have to realize. Everything you do, you may have some support, you may not, but it's on you. You have to make the decision whether you want to be a badass or whether you just want to be mediocre and everything's okay. But being a badass hurts real bad. And that's why I didn't want to do it.
When you're trying to build confidence about something you're afraid of, being exposed to the fear helps you overcome that. But actively choosing to take that fear on head on is actually what it takes. I can't throw a spider at you and you're not afraid of spiders, but you choosing in your own mind to actively go to that spider by yourself makes you actually grow from it. So you choosing to take power of what little you can when you're feeling like, when everything's crumbling around you and you feel powerless and helpless, well, what can you take control of? You can take control of opening your door and letting that, embracing that, leaning into that hard time. Like, I'm going to choose to feel this. It's here. I didn't choose that, but I'm going to choose to feel it. And I have power over the choice of what I feel. And then you take your power back and you can build your confidence from there.
And discipline's good too. But without a clear headspace, there's no discipline.
What do you mean?
So let's say we have a circuit breaker, okay? And I'm loading everything up to one fucking circuit. Just load it up. It's gonna fucking blow. Once that thing blows, man, the circuit's all fucked up. You gotta have each thing plugged into the right spot, like a fucking crowded garage. You can't put anything in it. Once your brain is crowded, discipline is great, motivation is great. But if you can't fit shit in your brain because it's all fucking cluttered with shit, there's no discipline. You may have it sometimes when it fits in that crowded garage of your mind, but you don't have the consistency that you need to have with that discipline.
There are things that I can't do now that I could have done before. It is going, for both of us, it is going to get linearly harder to build muscle for the rest of time. It's never going to be as easy as it was 10 years ago to build muscle. And you go, okay, well, that's an argument for starting sooner. And the same thing goes for becoming more psychologically healthy, for becoming more balanced, for becoming more wealthy, for investing in good habits, friends. Oh God, Christopher Hitchens, it is a melancholy lesson of older life that you can no longer make old friends. Like, find your people now. Find your people right now and become friends with them. Find your habits right now and start doing them.
So like patience, for example, most goals are attainable if you expand the time horizon, even enormous ones. Like you can do anything in 10 years.
You could walk to the moon.
There you go. You can do anything. And so for me, I would say, a naturally impatient person. Like I tend to want things immediately now. And you know what? You probably are too. But once I defined patience as figuring out what to do in the meantime, it allowed me to control what I did. Because now, like you and I are being patient for your stock investments. Right now, as we're on this podcast, we're being patient for that because we're doing things in the meantime. And so whenever I felt impatient and wanted to change course, I had to just redefine what do I need to do today. And if you are sad and impatient, then it means that right now you need to learn what the option is that you need to go pursue. And then that makes it very much under your control.
Everybody else feels, or to me, it always seems like everyone else has got it together. Because I get to see only what you choose to say, only what I'm around you doing that I get to see, whereas I get to observe my own inefficiency and foibles 10,000 times a second, right? I get to watch the texture of my own mind be completely unresponsive and useless. I see every single prideful decision, every single lie that I tell myself, every single time I make a promise and don't keep it. But I don't get to see that from everyone. So I'd always presume, because of this asymmetry, that everybody else had it sorted and I didn't. And it also made me think that everybody else's opinion was this perfectly balanced, well-researched, beautifully, they had me nailed down to a T. And what they were telling me was the truth. They could see something in me that I couldn't. And after a little bit of time and a good bit of building up of self-confidence, I realized that that's not the case.
No. If you give it all you have, you're going to get max potential back. And then who knows what can come. That's the beautiful thing. If you don't show up, guys, you know the outcome. You'll never get the job, never get the part, never get the girl if you don't show up. If you show up, you put yourself in a situation to create those opportunities. And when you show up, how hard do you go? That's the faster that opportunity will come to life for you. It's up to you guys. But I applaud you for being here. I applaud you for watching this, encouraging you to incorporate this in your workout. You'll see the gains like I did, and you'll fall in love with it. Even though it's tiring and exhausting, and you're sweating your ass off, and you're tired as can be, small down payment that you're willing to pay every day for the large investment of a greater life. You only got one life, guys. Again, if you work it right, you only need one. Very plit. Thanks for watching.
It's so easy to be successful nowadays because people are weak.
Yeah.
Everybody's weak. Dana White says it as well.
Yeah.
I tell my kids, it is so easy. If you are even a weekend savage, you will run these kids over. Yeah. And for every single person, it's giving me chills again, for every single person that likes to castigate the very padded victimhood mentality of the modern world, okay, cool. Like you can rail against people that say that the world is against them, even though it's not, and et cetera, et cetera. How does that inform the way that you should operate in the world?
Right.
Well, okay, What you're saying is everybody else is fallible, weak, fragile in some way or another. Yeah. How does that inform the way that you act? The way that you should act is, holy shit, if I have even a modicum of resilience, this makes the market environment for me so much easier. Whether I want to get the girl, buy the house, become successful in whatever domain I choose to, the bar is set so low.
Okay, something bad happens. How much would it affect my behavior? Well, the person who's indestructible would have something terrible happen and then nothing would change. Yeah, people don't know how to manage their emotions. At least for me, the more I've tried to create space between how I feel and what I do, the more consistent my outcomes have been. So if I need to create content and I'm not feeling it, or I'm feeling tired, or things like that, the more times I give into that excuse or that feeling, then the more superstitious I become about doing it in the future. Whereas a lot of times if I can just start when I am tired or when something is painful and then still execute about the same as before, I look at game tape or I look at video or I look at the content from those sessions, for example, and I see that I remember feeling terrible during the session, but you can't really see anything. And I think the more times you get that loop going, the more you can separate how you feel and what is required. And the more times you do what is required to get what you want, the more times you get what you want.
See, in your life, everybody has a turn back moment. You have a moment where you could go forward or you can give up. But the thing you have to keep in mind before you give up is that if you give up, the guarantee is it will never happen. That's the guarantee of quitting, that it will never happen, no way under the sun. The only way the possibility remains that it can happen is if you never give up no matter what. Because God is always coming. He's never too late. At your worst moment, look, man, when they told me I had to be in New York, I saw no way I could get there. But that God though, he make the phone ring. I end up in Florida, I make $300. Then I go to New York, I make $750. Almost got $1,000 out of nowhere. That's what happened to me. That was my moment of never giving up. That's when I first learned that faith was everything, that you have to remain faithful.
And so one of the things that happens when you're broke is that you bet on stuff and then it doesn't work and people feel like they're back at zero, but you're not back at zero. You're at where you were plus 1 experience, plus 2 experiences, plus 3 experiences, plus 4 experiences. But when you have plus 18 experiences, all of a sudden, boop, you level up 1. You get experience points. There's a reason in video games call them experience points. So you didn't trade it for nothing, you got an experience point. And then with enough experience points, you get to the next level. And so I think if you just even thought about it like that, it's not a loss, but an experience point. It could bridge the gap between your current income level and the income level that you want to get to. And then guess what? There's more experience point that you have to get there. And those experience points also cost more money. Because when you take a bet in the beginning, and when I say it costs money, it's like, if you run an ad and it doesn't work, it costs money. If you want to set up a Shopify store or an e-commerce store and you spend 30, 40, 50 bucks a month, whatever, it costs money. And it does, like all of these things cost money to start. Now, mind you, it cost a lot less than it did in the 20s when you had to mortgage your house and guarantee that you'd win or you'd lose everything forever. So like the bar hasn't never been lower than it is now, but there still is a bar and you have to get over it. And I still think that the vast majority of the shit that people are trying to get over has nothing to do with the difficulty of business, but the first step, the foundation, which is it is my fault that I am here. And in it being my fault, I am the one who can get me out of it.
Ignore the naysayers. I think it is natural that when you have a big vision and big dreams and you have big goals, that people are gonna say around you, I don't think it can be done. I think it's impossible, or no. I tell you, I heard this all the time, but I want to tell you, don't ever let them stop you from dreaming and from shooting for the big goal. Because eliminate just simply those words, no, impossible, and it can't be done. I mean, in each one of my careers, when someone said it's impossible, I heard it's possible. When someone said it can't be done, I heard it can be done. And when someone said no, then I heard loud and clear, yes. So this is what I believed in. I am a big believer of what Nelson Mandela said. He said it always seems to be impossible and still someone does it. And that's exactly what it is. And I wanted to be that one that does it. I wanted to break the new records, and I wanted to do something that no one else has ever done. So I think that's what you need to do. Don't ever be worried about that someone hasn't done it. Just think about how many times my career would have stopped. My career would have ended if I would have listened to the naysayers. I mean, it started right away when I was 15 years old and I became a bodybuilder. Right after that, when I said, I want to be a world champion in bodybuilding, I want to be Mr. Universe. They immediately said, are you crazy?
I'm having fun, man. I really am. I'm working hard. I'm giving everything I have. And I'm just happy to be in here. I'm a jokester. I'm laughing. I'm cutting on myself, cutting on other people. Just enjoying the moment, man. This is the moment of birth. This is where everything is born for me. This is my therapy of life. So I come in here to battle all the demons from the third parties out there that come in. So have fun here. Don't take it too seriously. If you can't smile, laugh in here, and laughter is really good for the abs, and maybe you're missing the real message in here, guys. That message is one that, yeah, you're transforming your life and you're going through hell to do it, but because you're doing it, it's a guaranteed success is going to come. You should be happy about that. You should be excited. You have the abs, guys. We all have them. Underneath here, everyone's got the abs. Got a little bit of fat on top of them. Guys, don't give in yet, Keep doing your diet, keep doing your cardio while you're doing these abs. You're dropping the fat and building the muscle. So the point when that body fat hits single digits, guys, boom, it's gonna give birth to like a new you. And then everything else comes with it, and I hope you're ready for it. All the girls, all the fame, everyone's gonna be asking how you do it and everything else, and hope you're ready for that, guys. So hopefully it doesn't come overnight, but it might be too much for you. But when it does come, and you do it the right way, you'll be ready. And you'll be damn proud of it. And once you have them, you would never, ever let them go. You have them for life. Greg Blick, help to stay fit. Thanks.
Is you're organizing your mind so you can put that discipline. So a lot of people talk about discipline. Okay, great. Why do you fall off the fucking wagon? Why can't I continue with this routine? Going to the gym, being better, waking up early, eating the right foods. It's because maybe it's your kids, maybe it's your wife, maybe it's your job, and it's all just stuffed in your fucking brain. You don't have it compartmentalized and organized in these nice shelves. Like you look in the garage, it's all fucking a nice organized militant garage. Hey, where are my dumbbells? Right there. A lot of people whose brain, hey, where's my dumbbells? Let me look. They're fucking throwing shit, they're looking through totes, they're all fucked up. So where am I gonna put discipline in that mind if I can't find other shit? You gotta be able to find all these different things in your mind. Oh, I can put discipline right there. I can put consistency right there. I can put all these things right there in that spot. So that's what I'm talking about. If your life is not organized, and your life being everything around you, because it takes one little fucked up piece of an outside interference to clutter your whole mind.
Because it's on such a knife edge.
That's right. And people don't get that. Your mind has to always be clear. That's why I meditate 2 hours every single night. Because I refresh, I reorganize the garage, which is my mind, every night. So then discipline's in there, organization, everything is in this right spot. So when I wake up, I'm ready to go.
And you don't feel like you have the confidence to do it. And so it comes time to make a decision and you're sort of looking around and the guys are looking at you like, hey, you're gonna make a call or what? And finally someone just steps on you and says, hey, I got it. Hey, everyone move over to this building. And now your confidence goes down even lower, which is the problem. So how am I gonna build your confidence? Well, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take you and I'll put you into a situation that I know you can handle. I'm gonna give you a task that I know you can do. Look, it's not gonna be a total softball. It's not gonna be a joke of a task, but I'm gonna give you something that I know you can handle. And I'm gonna let you do that. And I might let you do that 2, 3, 4, 5 times. I might say, hey, on this next operation, Steven, I want you to, you're gonna hold the left flank with your squad. Everyone else is assaulting buildings. They're setting up external screen. You just hold this. You just set your team up on this berm over here. And watch to the north. And look, this is a pretty easy job, all right? And so you go out there, you take your team, you get on the berm, you look to the north. You do a good job. Confidence goes up a little bit. Now look, there was no pressure. You didn't have to make any decisions, but you did what you were supposed to do. And I might have you do that 2 or 3 times. And then the next time I say, hey, you know what? Hey, good job out there. I'm going to build up your confidence a little bit. And then I'm going to say, hey, I need you to handle security to the north and to the west. All right, so you're going to have 2 squads now. So I'm just going to give you small tasks that I know you can handle to build up your confidence. And over time, you will become more and more confident, and you're going to hit some challenges and you'll overcome those challenges. And if you do, great, your confidence will grow. If you fail in a challenge, I might have to reset you a little bit. But this sounds like a big, long process, but it's actually usually not that long. It's actually, people kind of nod their head. Oh yeah, I can do this.
Sadness is a perceived lack of options. It's why it feels like hopelessness, because you don't know what to do. You don't know what options are available. You see none, which is why it feels like there's no way out. Anxiety is many options but no priorities, which is why you feel scattered but you can't decide. They feel very different, but fundamentally, those are the difference in the conditions that make people feel like they're anxious or they feel like they're sad. And so when we're working through what you were just talking about with, okay, I want to be gym guy and I also want to be work guy, we have many options, but a lack of priorities. And so we have anxiety over the fact that we're not making progress on any of them because we have not been able to say, this comes first. And so if we think about what priority means, it means prior. It comes before everything else. And what I think a lot of people have a hard time doing is being okay with saying no and saying, okay, I will allow myself to just not get fatter rather than get fitter during this period. And what's interesting about most skills is that the amount of effort that it takes to maintain a skill versus the amount of effort it takes to grow a skill is like 1/10 the amount of effort. And so this is where the effort arbitrage is so important in terms of allocation. And so if you do a 4 out of 10 on 10 things, you will make progress on none. You will make the same amount of progress that you could have made if you just did 1 out of 10, which is none. You just don't regress. But the extra 3 points that you save on the 9, you could put on one other item and have a 10 out of 10 or a 13 out of 10 in effort. And then after every periodized chunk of time, have a big W or win that you can look back on and say, I did that, and therefore I am. And so I think that that's how you step up the mountain of progress when you're trying to work on many different skills, quote, at the same time. It's just that the at the same time is over a year, not over a day.
What do you do on the days when you're just not feeling it?
Those days when I'm tired or worn out or just basically sick of the grind, what do I do on those days? I go anyways. I get it done, even if I'm just going through the motions. I go through the motions. I don't really want to work out. I work out. I really don't want to hammer on a project. I hammer on the project. Don't really want to get up and get out of bed. I get up and get out of bed. Now, these could be signals that you need some time off. And those signals might be right. They could be correct. But don't take today off. Not today. Wait until tomorrow. Don't give in to the immediate gratification that is whispering in your ear. Shut that down. Do not listen to that little voice. Instead, go through the motions. Lift the weights, sprint the hill, work on the project, get out of bed. Now, as an overall rule, I do not like procrastination. You need to get things done. But if you are going to rest, that is one thing that you should procrastinate on. That's the one thing I want you to put off until tomorrow. And if, when tomorrow comes, you still feel like you need to rest or you need to take a break, then okay. But the chances are you won't need that rest. Chances are you will realize that the desire to rest was just weakness. It was just the desire to take the path of least resistance, the downhill path, the easy path. And by simply going through the motions, you overcame that path. And you stayed on the righteous path, the disciplined path. You stayed on the war path, which is right where you know that you belong.
There's a sacrificial element in maturation, right? You have to sacrifice the pluripotentiality of childhood for the actuality of a frame. And the question is, well, why would you do that? Well, one reason is it happens to you whether you do it or not. You can either choose your damn limitation, or you can let it take you unaware when you're 30, or even worse, when you're 40. And then that is not a happy day. I see people like this, and I think it's more and more common in our culture because people can put off maturity without suffering an immediate penalty. But all that happens is the penalty accrues, and then when it finally hits, it just wallops you. Because when you're 25, you can be an idiot. It's no problem. Even when you're out in a job search, it's like, well, you don't have any experience and you're kind of clueless. It's, yeah, you're young, it's no problem. That's what young people are like, but they're full of potential. Okay, well, now you're the same person at 30. It's like people aren't so thrilled about you at that point. It's like, what the hell have you been doing for the last 10 years? Well, I'm just as clueless as I was when I was 22. It's, yeah, but you're not 22. You're an old infant, right? And that's an ugly thing, an old infant. So part of the reason you choose your damn sacrifice, because the sacrifice is inevitable, but at least you get to choose it. And then there's something that's even more complex than that in some sense, is that the problem with being a child is that all you are is potential, and it's really low resolution. You could be anything, but you're not anything. So then you go and you adopt an apprenticeship, roughly speaking, and then you become something. And when you're something, that makes the world open up to you again. Like if you're a really good plumber, then you end up being far more than a plumber, right? You end up being a good employer. Not that plumbers, I'm not putting plumbers down. It's like more power to plumbers. They've saved more lives than doctors. So, hygiene, right? So, if you're a really good plumber, well, then you have some employees, you run a business, you train some other people, you enlarge their lives, you're kind of a pillar of the community, you have your family. Once you pass through that narrow training period, which narrows you and constricts you and develops you at the same time, then you can come out the other end with a bunch of new possibility at hand. And Jung talked about that. He thought that the proper path of development in the last half of life was to rediscover the child that you left behind as you were apprenticing. And so then you get to be something and regain that potential at the same time.
I know you're not alone. Everybody I know in my personal life, in the industry that I'm in, has faced this adversity, this recession. The recession is a universal term, meaning it affects the strongest of the strong and the weakest of the weak, the richest and the poorest, and everything in between. Everyone is getting hit by this. I feel this situation that we're in is one to embrace and embark on. This is a situation that you will find your true colors of life. You also see the true colors of your friends right now. Everything rises to the surface. There's no more bullshit right now because shit has hit the fan. And who's gonna stand up? Once everything else if your foundation, guys, is built upon your looks or your body or the money you have or the family you have, if that is the rock of which you built your identity from, well, when shit hits the fan, that motherfucking crumbles. And then you're left lost. You don't know what to do. You've lost your identity in life. It's not until you build the foundation of self-worth, integrity, principle, character, sacrifice, due diligence, work ethic, sweat equity, those blocks that we learn in the gym will stand the test of time, will remain standing after the greatest storms, because you know who you were before the success. Those blocks gave you the success, and if the success crumbles, those blocks will still bear the fruit of greater success later. You can count on them. If you win the lottery and you get all this money, you're not rich. You're just about 5 months away from being poor again because you don't understand the concept of it all. You have to go through the trial and error of life like Sam's talking about, that he's going through right now, to find out what you're made of. This time right now is not a bad time. It's a challenging time. And in hard times, the outcome of hard times, if you make it through, is a better you.
When you start saying things like, you know, I hope it is fucking hard. I hope it's so fucking hard that no one can do it. That way, when I do it, I'm that much more ahead of everybody. I want it so fucking hard, to be so hard and so challenging, that when I get it, man, I reap all the reward. I don't want luck in the equation because I don't need it. You start saying terms like that, man, you're someone that believes it. You got confidence. I don't give a shit what the endeavor is. You're gonna find a way to do it. That's the differential right there. That's the confidence that no matter what's in front of you, the never say die attitude drives you through it. And all your shortcomings and your failures along the way don't set you back, but just gives you a report card of where your weaknesses are and your strengths, so you can rebuild that weak chain of life to continue the path to success. Asking how hard it is looking for second place. Saying I hope it's fucking hard and no one can do it, because that way when I do it, I'm the sole survivor. That's somebody that's gonna fucking do it. Not only do it, raise the motherfucking bar. I have no doubts that guy's gonna do it. That's how you gotta be, man. Before you embark on it, you've got to believe that strongly.
Just because something is hard to obtain does not mean that it is valuable.
Just because something is hard to obtain doesn't mean it's valuable.
Correct. Yeah, just because it's difficult to get doesn't mean that it's valuable. Look at the car he's driving, look at the watch he's wearing, look at the girl he's with. These things were hard to obtain, so you presumed that they were valuable, but you didn't realize that what's genuinely valuable are friendships and relationships and a comfort and a confidence in yourself and peace of mind and sanity and being able to positively impact the people around you. So it got me thinking. I've been really sort of reflecting on this over the last year. And I did some research into the history of the pineapple. So 1492, Christopher Columbus lands on the island of Guadalupe. And for the first time ever, a Westerner sees a pineapple, right? And you look at it and it's kind of a royal fruit. It's got this stupid crown on its head. And he writes in his journal, he describes the taste of a pineapple. If you'd never had a pineapple before, it'd blow your head off. You know, if you haven't got processed foods.
Oh, I remember the first time I had a pineapple.
So sweet.
Yes.
It's insane.
Of course.
Anyway, they take a shipload, literally, back to the Prince of Spain, Prince Aragon II. Take this entire shipload back. One of them makes it that isn't rotten, and the prince is allowed to eat it. And again, it almost gets this sort of mythical quality to it, the pineapple. Very quickly, the British, quite rightly so, they start to see it as this symbol of opulence, right? They see it as this symbol of wealth. So they would parade pineapples around at dinner on a platter, and they would use them over and over and over again. You could rent a pineapple, right, for the evening. This is the sort of house in which you might be able to see a pineapple, right? Castles had pineapple statues on the top of them. There would be fountains with pineapples at the front of someone's estate. All of this occurred because of the scarcity of a pineapple. It was £8,000 to get one pineapple.
Wow.
Right? That was the equivalent back then. £8,000. It was a symbol of privilege and opulence and wealth. And what it meant was that people really looked up to this one object. Then the French, a couple of hundred years later, they invent greenhouses. And that allows us to grow tropical fruits at higher climates, higher latitudes. Price drops. And guess what? No one starts parading the pineapple around anymore. The scarcity of it was largely determining the value of it. And that story, and what I called Rogan's value difficulty conflation, just because something is hard to obtain does not mean that it is valuable. Now, I would argue that a pineapple is valuable no matter how hard or difficult. It's like a dialed fruit no matter how good or how difficult it is to get a hold of. But I really love that insight because I think that it shows how non-valuable but difficult to obtain things get slipped into our desires. I see that particular expensive possession that intrinsically I don't actually care about. Maybe I've never been a watch guy. Maybe I've never been a shoes guy. Maybe I've never been a car guy. but I want it. I want it because it's hard to get. Okay, well, what if there is a quicker route toward fulfillment? What if there is a more direct path? Because there are some people out there for whom keeping up with the Joneses and materialism is an inbuilt part of their life. But I can say, as someone that doesn't have that bone in my body particularly, that for me, material possessions, they don't make a massive difference to my quality of life. I like nice things. I like to fly business. I like a nice house and blah, blah, blah. But there's people who are tuned into that, right? Maybe it's their upbringing, their genetic predisposition, whatever. But I think that people should be very cautious. Why is it that I'm chasing this thing? Am I chasing this thing because it's something which is valuable? Or am I chasing it simply because it's something that's difficult to get?
Fired up, man. Fired the fuck up, man. Motivated, pumped up, man. Early still, man. Early. Some people just getting up, going about their first endeavor of the day. We've already done a few endeavors, man. We already kicked some ass. We like the taste of that. We want to kick some more ass. So the next endeavor we're doing, because we put value in our day. An hour in the gym wasn't just an hour where we just go in there and check the box and we get, fuck no, man. We had a plan of action. We went in there and achieved that fucking plan. We spoke the words and we walked the motherfuckers. Now here we stand, energized, spending energy in the gym, but we created more energy, a mind-body connection, a belief, a quantum physics of it all. Energy expelled, value in what we're doing, and the belief in something, hard work behind the belief, grows into prosperity of something. Fuck yeah. We didn't just wake up and grab a fucking shower, wash our nuts and then grab a coffee for some energy to go to work. No, we just earned some fucking energy. That kind of energy, once lit, never goes out. Work better get ready for this, man. Your other employees and shit at the house, the people you work with in those cubicles, they better duck and cover, because fucking heat's coming in. That you've earned, guys. You do that every single day. You repeatedly do. In anything you do. If you look in the mirror and you frown upon yourself, you created that. That's not an accident, it's a habit. Just like you look in the mirror and you smile because you see excellence. That's not an accident, it's a habit. You guys need to start taking responsibility for your actions. When you start taking responsibility for your actions, you start to find the belief in what you're doing, the passion behind it. You create value in what you're doing. There's no longer mundane tasks. Everything has a purpose and an end state. There's a direction to a designation. If you don't like the designation you're going to, well, you can't change that overnight. You cannot change it overnight. But you can change the direction overnight. So if you are looking at your life right now, and what you do every single day, and it's a one-way street to hell with no return, that's not so fucking appealing to me, man. I don't want to be part of that. So get off that fucking beaten path society says is so right. Believe in yourself and what you're doing, man. Say, fuck that. Now, that is going into nowhere. I don't want to be nowhere. I want to ensure that I am some value to somebody, especially myself. So I'm going to change the direction of where I'm going. That direction can be changed in an instant. It's a mindset. Just like when we walked in there. That blitzkrieg, what it is two forces joining. One is the belief in what you're doing. Like Muhammad Ali believed so much he was a champion. He said he was a champion before he was a champion. That's the belief. It has to be that way. That's the steering wheel of life, the direction. Then what's going to fire that through is the engine. Your undying will. Your conviction to see it through. That was Michael Jordan's quote. I failed and failed and failed and failed. And because of that, I succeeded. You learned and learning got stronger and stronger. It's like that steel going into the lava, get hotter and hotter and hotter, and just hammered into the strength, the tensile strength of it all. It takes that kind of pressure of life to create something that stands the test of time. And it doesn't happen overnight. The direction can change overnight. The destination slowly will come. It's like a big cruise trip, guys. It's a fucking cruise ship. Meaning you're sitting there, imagine your life right now is a big fucking carnival cruise, which you probably don't want to be on right now because they fucking sink and the shitters go up and everything else. But imagine a carnival cruise, right? That's society's life. Big old fucking cruise ship, out at sea, just chugging away. For that motherfucker to turn left, it is forever turn. It takes forever for that big vessel to turn. We aren't society, man. We aren't that big ship of life. We're a fucking speedboat. Don't look for a free ride on a fucking big boat. Be a speedboat. Because in a speedboat, not only can you go faster than a big vessel, but you can turn on a dime. You can run circles around that bitch. You can recreate the route to success. Don't follow the herds, guys. Set your own trends. Greg Plitt, thanks for watching. The Blitzkrieg. You just blitzkrieg our back, combine the belief and the strength, the will to do it. Now we're gonna take that same mentality that we just earned, that energy found, and blitzkrieg the rest of our day. Have a good one.
You know, one question I get a lot, guys, is, man, how do you not burn out? How do you stay true to the course when that course could be 5 years, 10 years? How do you stay true to the path, man? Well, there's a real quick answer to a very complicated question. You don't burn out mentally because you always burn out physically. When you guys burn out physically, you push your current limitations to a new barrier, do you not? You hit failure and you go beyond. You force your body to create a demand to grow even more. By burning out physically, you ensure that you grow physically. If you don't burn out physically, then even though you go to the gym, you put your time in there, you check the box, yeah, I went to the gym, man, all good. You come back around, you look in the mirror, man, I'm not seeing anything, I'm not seeing any changing. Oh, well, because you haven't pushed yourself for your body to have a reason to change. If I gave a valiant effort to something, day in, day out, I saw no change, I'd probably quit too. But the reason why you're quitting, man, the reason why mentally you're burning out, is because you're not burning out physically. It's that mind-body connection of invincibility when you sync them up, guys. Every transformation always gets worse before it gets better. It's supposed to be that way. The journey you're embarking on here with MFT 28 is not an easy path. It's not for the ill-hearted or the weak-natured. It's for the strong people. And before you embark on this journey, mentally, you have to prepare yourself for it, knowing it's going to get worse before it gets better. When you embark this journey, you must know that it's going to go down before it comes up. But when it comes up, it's going to go so much higher than you've ever been. Sacrificing today for tomorrow's betterment. If you're a guy that's just working out for the first time in this program, you hit a couple workouts, you're going to feel this soreness you've never felt before. That's the DOMS effect. Delayed onset muscle soreness. It's supposed to be that way. It means you're using muscles you haven't used before. Your body's waking up. Sharpening your arsenal for perfection of what you can be. But if you didn't know that, mentally, you didn't prepare for that, you think something's wrong, maybe it's time to stop. No, it's time to move even further. You have to be equipped mentally to endure this process. Knowing what you're about to go into is step one. Knowing it's an uphill battle, but a winnable one and one that's achievable. And at the end of this race, guys, you're gonna be more capable. The first step, guys, is knowing it's a tough road. But through that effort, builds the character of the person you wanna be at the end. Accept that. How else do we stay on track? We document everything. To know where we are, guys, we must first know where we've been. And when we hit plateaus in our current day, the key to success to break that plateau is in our past. You take a picture of yourself on day one, you put it on the mirror. That's who I'll never be again. That's day one. Say goodbye to him. Behind that picture, you write down your weight, your height, all your information, your body fat, tape measures around your arms, your waist, your thigh. Record where you've been. Because when the struggle gets hard and you feel like you're not going anywhere, you go back to that day one, remeasure, go, it's working. How about them apples, man? I'm on set, I'm on path, I'm actually achieving something. It gives you confidence to continue the journey. Record everything, what you eat, your training habits, how you feel. But don't do it alone, get a partner. That partner, they say champions come in pairs of two, because you battle yourself into perfection. There are gonna be days, man, where you're dragging ass. But there's every excuse in the world why not to go to the gym. Having that partner is gonna ensure you get there. We will kid ourselves, man. We will fail all the time on ourselves. But it's a sad motherfucker that fails on someone else's terms. When someone else is relying on you, that you say, no, man, I just can't make it. You won't be that guy. You'll show up just for your buddy's sake. And your buddy's energy will push you through a workout even though you're exhausted. And what's crazy about it, man, even though your energy levels are so low, by expending more energy, you just gain so much more in the back end. It's crazy. And all of a sudden you have this natural high. With the problems you once had going before the gym that seemed overwhelming, you come out of that gym pumped up, man, mind-body connected. Those same problems don't look so bad. You're generating solutions to them. You're seeing ways in and out of them all because you're thinking positively. Your partner, you owe that to. He got you into the gym, and there are going to be days he's down and out, and you're going to get him into the gym.
Not only is a partner vital to get into the gym, but make sure the sets go to failure. When you hit failure on your own, man, you can't go anymore. That partner gets 3 or 4 more sets. That makes all the difference, man. Of hitting your failure and going past it. That's where the growth is. Your partner ensures you get there. You gotta have an end goal in sight. What is that all about? Something in the near future, relative future, that gives value to today. 90 days out, man, I'm gonna run a marathon. 90 days out, I'm gonna enter a bodybuilding contest. 90 days out, it's a family reunion, high school reunion. I'm gonna look my best. 90 days to become that person I wanna be. To turn that dream into a reality, I got 90 days. Today is 1/90th of that opportunity. If I don't have a 90-day end state, there's no bookends. I can easily push off my responsibilities of today into tomorrow and not feel bad about it. But when there's an end, then today has value all of a sudden, doesn't it? If I blow off today until tomorrow, I just lost 1/90th of the chance to become that motherfucker. You get the mind right. If you believe it, your body physically will find a way to make it happen. That's MFT 28. You guys ever heard the expression, the whole 9 yards? You ever wonder where that came from? Back in World War I, fighter pilots had guys out the door with 50 cal machine guns, and they'd be firing those rounds onto ground targets. Those 50 rounds came in belts. Each round was linked. The length of the entire rounds, 9 yards long. So in a time of like extreme adversity or when the odds were against them, you know, the pilot would tell the gunner how many rounds to throw out, how many yards to throw out, depending what the mission was. And when shit hit the fan, he goes, give them the whole fucking 9 yards. The whole fucking belt came out. Because they might be going down. They're in a dogfight of life, right? And it comes down to if they're going to win or lose, meaning they're going to live or die on the mission. The pilot's like, give them the whole fucking 9 yards. Everything you fucking have. In order for us to win. And in their situation, winning was living. In order to continue to live. To not to perish, to not to die. Give it everything I have in order to survive. The whole fucking 9 yards. They were fighting for their life. And here, we fight for a better life. Why would the notion be any different? Why would we not give it all we had, the blood, sweat, and tears of life? Leave it all here in order to lead this gym for that better life. That dream that we have inside that we want to create a reality starts right here. If we half-ass and only get 2 yards, 3 yards, in that metaphor of life of 9 yards, why would we ever expect to get 9 yards out there? And what happens, we get 2 yards in here, we want the fucking 9 yards out there, we don't have it, we're not going to self-evaluate ourselves and suck up our nuts and say, you know why we don't have it? Because I didn't give it all there. I only gave it 2 yards, that's why 2 yards is all I'm going to get in life. But no, we won't say that, like, oh, you know, I go to the gym, I do this, I do that, but I'm not getting the results. You know, what is it? Is it the diet, or is it the protein, or is it this, or is it that, or is it that, is it that? It's you getting in your own fucking way is what it is. Humans self-deprecate themselves. Their mind will shut their body down before their body is willing to shut down. If you mentally think you can do it, your body will find a way to do it. When you come in here and you give it all you have and you leave puke, you know, when you're just fucking throwing up, you're sweating, you're done, you're exhausted. That's the fucking 9 yards. That's going to be exponentially growth out there. That's going to make every dream a reality for you. To live a life of remembrance. A life of legacy, a life that people look at you as a role model, inspire others. It all starts with you having a little bit of ownership on what the fuck you're doing. But if you don't come in here ready to fucking fire it off 9 yards, don't ever be ready to have a life worth remembering. This is the metaphor of life, guys. Non-subjective. No one gives it to you, no one takes it away. It's yours to have or not have. How can you fail this and expect anything out there to succeed? You own the ins and the outs here. And if you don't give it your all, then you have a serious default in your system of success. Whole 9 yards might blow that default out. People are like, man, you sound angry in these videos, or you're like some ADD or something. Fuck yeah, man. I am angry. Because I'm not where I want to be.
I have so much more to grow in life. And we only live like 100 years maybe. I don't have much fucking time. Why would I give today up? I'm angry. I want it all, man. I want more than that. How you gonna get it? I'm willing to work for it. So therefore I demand to get it. And I work harder and harder and harder. And there's people that are writing in and say, I'm lost, I don't know how to do this, I don't know how to do that. Grab your fucking nuts. For once in your life, have some ownership, some credibility behind your actions and your words. Mean what you say, do what you say. Follow through for something for one time in your life. One time, follow through on what you say. You will feel a high that you've never felt before. When you follow through on things in life, guys, you achieve the confidence, the mentality that anything's possible. When you've been blessed with that emotion, that feeling, that is the start, the spark plug, the igniter to the rest of your life success. It doesn't happen until you commit one time. Leaving it all here, guys. Leaving it all here, expecting it all out there. That's how it works. When you leave it all here, guys, you then have the right to expect it all out there. It doesn't work the other way around. You can't half-ass it here and expect anything but a half-ass life out there. Wake up. I can't quite explain that high you get, man. It's such a weird transformation. You're doing your set, you're hitting failure, going beyond failure. Your arms feel like they're someone else's. You can't even feel them anymore. A knife's driving through it, they're painful. You keep pushing through it, and then you fucking make that rep that you wanted, achieve your goal, and you drop the weight, and all that pain, all that crap you're feeling, just somehow, like someone opened the sink drain, and it just flows out of you. And when it flows out of you, it's just... I haven't experienced the feeling as great. I don't know if it's a combination of like the muscle relaxing, or maybe the mindset, psych that you just achieved what you set for. Or maybe it's a combination of the mind and the body. Like I keep telling you guys. But you know guys, if you guys went to sleep at night at 4 in the morning and got up at 6 in the morning, 2 hours of sleep is all you got that night, would you expect a successful day that day? If you only got 2 hours of sleep, do you think you had a successful day? Probably not. You'd probably be dragging ass, tired. Come in here and give it a half-ass workout. Would you expect a full life out of here? I don't think so, guys. You get a full night's sleep, you're rested, ready to go for a full day's activities. You kill yourself in here, you can expect the rewards of that effort tenfold back out there. Everything is a give and take in life. If you don't give your all, don't expect anything coming back. With medicine balls, that medicine ball takes your mind off pain. You're trying to catch the ball, throw the ball, and everything else. You're not worried about that knife going into your stomach, which that knife is a representation of success, guys. When your mind's drifted away, your body goes through a little more pain. You got your mind saying, oh, we gotta stop. Fuck that. No, we don't. You gotta keep going. Time's running out, motherfucker. Here we go. Don't slam this thing down the pad. Have your head right there and get hit by it. Don't be a fucking retard in here. Be smart, guys. Step away from it so our hands come down right here, okay? Here we go. Domino set right there. All this shit, guys, again, fast pace, high reps, building the endurance of it all too. You're getting a hell of a cardio. I did that video blog about that year. You're trying to really shred down to the final shreds, the last couple of percentage of body fat, really lean out for that shoot, look good. But these treadmills go unused. Your cardio is within your workout. I'm breathing heavy right now. That's the cardio, guys. The cardio is in the workout, the supersets. That's your fat burn while you're building muscle. That's the best of the best. When you get down to a low body fat. If you guys have excess body fat, more time on cardio to get that body fat off. If you guys have lean mass and you want to put on size, No longer supersets, just pyramid up and weight, down in reps, heavy sets. With a minute and a half, 2 minute break in between, building the size. Once you get fine-tuned and you're on that transition period, how do we really now find out when you've done 95%, the last 5%? This is what I'm fucking talking about. This is what makes all the difference. It's what makes you number one, keeps you number one, motherfucker. Ha ha. That's leaving it all fucking there, guys. Leaving it all there. No matter what happens out there now, I know it's not from my shortcomings of time, minutes, days, months, weeks before. I've done all that work up to now. I'm the best I can fucking be at this fucking moment. I know that. I solidified that through all this shit. So whatever happens, it's the best I can be at that moment. You give it your all here, man. Give it all right here. To expect it all out there. That's an equal balance in life, where the work matches the results. These are advanced, guys. They're not easy, they're hard. Then again, everything in life that's hard produces an end state that's better. Hard usually equates to better, exponentially better. If you go easy, you can never get better, you get okay. You know, every time you come into the gym or something, guy, girl, the front desk always says, enjoy your workout. You don't say good luck with your workout, or you're crazy for about what you're going to do workout, or, you know, what's wrong with you workout. No, and enjoy your workout. You're supposed to enjoy it. Why? Because by going through the workout, that workout works out to be a better life, a healthier life, more successful, dominating, a role model, a life of legacy, someone's remembered, not forgotten, stands the test of time. Enjoy the process of becoming better is what they're saying. And all along, the more and more you do it, you really start to find the real zen of it all. The enjoyment of the sweat equity, the pain of it all. Because you feel so alive. After the workout, after the set, muscles all pumped, blood's in there. And you're like, God damn it, man. I'm better now than I was earlier this morning. And you keep going with that mentality of life. Not just in the gym, but in all your other endeavors, in your schoolwork, or, you know, studying for your board exams, or, you know, whatever it may be. That invention you have in your head to make a reality. Everything starts coming together, day by day, minute by minute. It changes to the person you want to be. Starting right here with enjoying your workout, motherfucker. If you guys do not give it your all in there, don't ever expect to become the man you dream of out here. It starts in there, or it starts in the classroom, or it starts studying at home, or having the idea in your head. That's where it starts. And then once it starts, it requires work ethic, a sacrifice, due diligence. Those are the 9 yards I'm talking about. You throw that kind of effort into any kind of idea, start point, you will cross the finish line in life. You will become what that person is you want to be. You will have that trophy on the mantle. You will be proud of yourself. People will look up to you as an example of the truth. In a world that is just falsified everywhere, you can be a fucking shining star of truth because you went through the bullshit and you came out clean. Whole 9 yards. Very Flip, help you stay fit. Enjoy that one.